You're watching the Real Football Network. I'm John Pollard, and this is Real Football Analytics. Today we're talking about the 4-1 New York Jets, one of the good news stories of the 2015 season. And going into the Week 7, the Jets are facing a division rival and perhaps the biggest game of the weekend in the New England Patriots. This New York Jets team, what we're seeing now, is probably a true manifestation of what their vision has been for the last 3 or 4 years. We have a strong running game led by Ivory. We have a staunch defense taking advantage of strong personnel across the board in all 11 positions. And we're seeing a much more disciplined style of play led by Todd Bowles. Again, I think what we're seeing today is what the Jets envisioned over the last 4 or 5 years. Let's dig into the numbers. Let's take a closer look at that rushing game of the New York Jets and specifically Ivory. Now we're using the ICE application provided to us by our partners at Stats Inc. We're going to pick Ivory and we're going to go to his rushing profile, which provides us a view of a subset of metrics that Chris really accelerates at. We're looking at Ivory's rushing profile from 2010 to 2015. There are some specific areas we want to point to in this chart. Let's jump to the 2014 year and the quality rush percentage. Now, quality rush percentage, how do we define that? That is defined in a normal 1st and 10 situation as a running back achieving 4+ yards on first down, 3+ yards on second down, a third down conversion or a score. And typically a running back with a 42% quality rushing percentage at the end of the year is a strong running back. And as you can see, Ivory's jumped above those metrics in 2014 and well above the metrics in 2015, averaging an incredible 51.8% quality rushing percentage. Now to put that in context, the league average in 2014 for quality rushing percentage was 46.3. Chris was above that average, obviously. And in 2015, the league average currently is 46.3 going into Week 7. And Chris obviously is having a great year. He's at 51.8% again in that quality rushing percentage. Let's look at yards per carry. Chris has averaged 4.2 in 2014, an incredible 5.5 in 2015. To put that in context, the league average in 2015 so far is 4.1 yards per carry for all running backs. Chris obviously almost a full yard and a half above the average. Finally, let's jump down to the yards after contact per carry. This is where Ivory excels. He extends plays after making contact with defenders. In 2013, Chris averaged 2.7 yards per carry, extending the play, yards after contact per carry. That was almost a full yard above the league average in 2013. In 2014, he continued that trend, averaging at the end of the season 2.4 yards after contact per carry. The league average last year, 1.9 yards. Finally, in 2015, obviously Chris is having a strong 2015. He's averaging 2.9 yards after contact per carry. The league average currently is 1.8. He's a full yard above the league average. Let's take a look at the defining aspects of the New York Jets, and that's their defense. Full of great talent across the board on the defensive side of the ball, and they're executing well under Todd Bowles. Look at this menu. Points per game, first. You see a lot of first, second, and thirds for the entire defense metrics. You can imagine the challenges any offense has playing this defense. I wanted to jump down to a couple of things. First off, third down percentage. Are only allowing third down conversions to their opponents 32% of the time, and that's tied for second. Let's talk about blitz impact for a second. Now, Todd Bowles, coming from Arizona, a high blitzing team over the past few years, he's brought that same scheme over to the New York Jets this year. They're 6th in the league in blitz frequency. Let's talk about blitz impact. A blitz impact is when a team blitzes and they either get a sack, a pressure, a fumble, or an interception. And the Jets right now are 5th in the league highest in blitz impact with 41.6% of those things happening when they blitz. The last metric I want to talk about is impact without a blitz. Same thing. You get a sack, a pressure, an interception, or a fumble, but without the blitz. This is a really key indicator for a strong defense. The Jets don't have to blitz to impact the opposing offense. They are 2nd in the league having impact with 29.4% without blitzing. They have a choice. They can blitz when they want to, or they can just play straight up base defense and create problems for opposing offenses. Okay, the final thing we want to talk about this Jets defense is a long referenced equation called toxic differential. The football world's been using it for years. And in essence, toxic differential looks at a team's takeaways on the defensive side, giveaways on the offensive side, and their explosive plays achieved by the offense and allowed by the defense. Fairly simple equation, but something coaches have referenced for years as they gauge the quality of their team. The New York Jets are currently tied for first in the league with the Pittsburgh Steelers with a toxic differential of 18. And in summary, a high toxic differential score. Part of that's scheme, part of that's execution, part of that's discipline, and part of that's somewhat good fortune. And as you all know, a team needs all of those things to be successful throughout an entire NFL season. Now this week, the Jets face division rivals, the New England Patriots. It's going to be strength versus strength. The Patriots' rushing defense versus Chris Ivory and the rushing offense of the New York Jets. Now so far this year, the New England Patriots defense is ranked 5th in the league in tackle quality. They're also ranked 11th in the league in yards after contact allowed per carry at 1.7 yards. Now remember, yards after contact per carry, that's an area of strength for Chris Ivory. He extends plays after contact with defenders. It's going to be an amazing matchup to watch. One other thing we wanted to bring up, it's the disciplined play of the 2015 New York Jets. In 2014, at the end of the season, the Jets ranked 20th in most penalties. In 2015 so far, they're 5th in the league in least penalties, and that's a credit to Todd Bowles and his coaching staff implementing a much more disciplined style of football. For Real Football Analytics, I'm John Pollard.